Good morning, everybody. Well, great. Finally, I am down to the last two clips of Amir Tsarfati's sermon. Now, I have to say, these two ones are probably the craziest takes on anything that Christianity had to offer and how the Zionist ideology has affected it. Anyway, so hopefully you enjoy, but for now, let's just hear what Amir has to say.
Reflect the love of God for them in the way you act, even today. In Matthew 25, the Lord is telling the disciples about the day at the end of the tribulation when all the nations will come before him and he will judge them. And just as Joel chapter 3 says, the criteria by which he's going to judge them is not whether they believe or not believe in him, but the criteria is how their faith was reflected in the way they treated his people, Israel. Jesus was saying, you may have not had to feed me or take care of me, but if you did that to the least of my brethren, it's as if you did that unto me. And as I said, Joel chapter 3 speaks directly about the fact that he will judge them according to how they treated Israel, the people, and the land.
All right, so we're back to it. So if you haven't heard the craziness, well, I'll tell you what the crazy bit is. Of course, Amir started the entire sermon with Isaiah 40, right? And as you remember, Amir misidentified who the people of Israel were, right? Because he was telling you that Israel was that equivalent of the Jews today and equivalent of the state of Israel today. Now, even the state of Israel today is not equivalent to all the Jews today. Forget about the Israel that is mentioned in Isaiah, as I mentioned. So he misidentified that part. Now, the other one, he also in Isaiah, he misidentified who Isaiah was talking to. So Isaiah wrote 700 years before, or 800 years even before any Christians appeared. So then the question is, why was Isaiah talking to the Christians? Now, I'm not saying that the Christians cannot use Isaiah's words for edification, but Isaiah clearly was not talking directly to the Christians. Okay, so in that passage, Amir made two misidentifications. Now, when it comes to this passage, this is entirely crazy. Okay, in this passage, of course, the passage is directed at Christians. So in this, as far as that, he's completely correct. But he completely misses the point of the passage. I mean, the passage is talking about anything but Israel. The passage does not mention Israel at all. When Jesus speaking about brethren, the least of my brethren, obviously in Christian theology, this means all downtrodden and dispossessed, absolutely irrespective of their ethnic origin. In other words, yeah, sure, of course. I mean, if Jewish people or some of the Jewish people are downtrodden and dispossessed, obviously this message is this message is about them. But it has nothing to do with any ethnicity. It has nothing to do with any people. Clearly, Christianity is a world religion. I mean, it's a teaching that touches everyone, everywhere, in all corners of the world. It's a completely universal message. And Amir tells you, no. This message is about Israel. This is absolutely insane. There's nothing to support it whatsoever. Outside of Christian dispensationalist theologians, which are like Amir, crazy, there's really nothing anywhere in any Christian writings in 2,000 years that ever reflected on this passage and thought about ethnicity when they read this passage. Of course, Jesus is talking about downtrodden, dispossessed of all ethnicities. In fact, if you read the Sermon on the Mount, the entire sermon is devoted to people talking about blessed be the poor, blessed be the peacemakers, and so forth. Jesus was never on the side of the powerful. This is absolutely clear. So if the powerful happen to be Jewish, then how can Jesus be on their side? Jesus was about enemy of the Pharisees, who were the powerful among the Jews, right? So Jesus' message was not about the Jews, whether powerful or not so powerful. It was about everyone, including Jews, who were not powerful. In fact, Right now, a certain nuclear armed state is destroying people with hunger, drones, and more sophisticated bombs. And the passage is about exactly the people this state is destroying, not about people who are destroying these people. Do you understand how outrageous the statements are? And what is even more outrageous is how people who are listening to him receiving it. They can't even understand what he's telling them. They're thinking Israel is there. There's no Israel. They're poor, downtrodden, dispossessed are there. Okay? This is completely grotesque and revolting. Okay? And so when we're sort of going back to this, Christianity, why did most of the people become Christians? Why did people turn to Christianity? Because Christianity was always about empathy and compassion in our hearts. It transforms our faith. It's not about treatment of a specific religious group. Surely Christians are called to treat everyone with compassion and understanding, all people, including all Jews. But to read that Jesus is speaking specifically about Jews is as heretical as it gets. It puts the whole entire paradigm, there's no Jew or Gentile in Jesus, to shame. The paradigm disappears. What kind of Christianity Amir follows, I have no idea. But I found this completely outrageous, and hopefully it helps people to see for the false teacher that he is. Anyway, that's just my morning rant. If you have any comments, please leave them. Would like subscribe or like just as well. Thank you very much for listening.